What that means, I mean, you need to check it out because when it rains, it actually pours, especially when it has to do with politics in River State. I welcome you to our first topical conversation on hard facts for today. 13 minutes gone past 4 p.m. I'm yours truly, Kala Dakorubataba. It's a pleasure, always a pleasure having you ready to contribute your views, your opinions, your ideas to conversations that we bring up or that arise every day. Once again, welcome. Remember, we're live on Facebook, Nigerian for PH. We're live on YouTube, Nigerian for PH. We are very much active on X, Nigeria Info PH. Is once again good to have you. So today, all right, now what I would like to talk about, I've got my guest in the studio. I'll introduce him shortly, but before I do, what I like to talk about is about a report that I missed. I don't even know how I missed the report, but after work yesterday, in our office WhatsApp group, one of my programs managers, I beg your pardon, sent an article from 2 days ago, was it now 3 days ago, with the caption, Rivers Crisis, Amaewhule others participate in PDP World Congresses, all right? And I do know that the PDP World Congresses has been characterized with controversies, three. I used to think there were about four, but I just would go with the reports I'm seeing because I can't remember what the fourth one was. But we've got 3 court cases stopping and permitting the conduct of the Congress that held. I don't know how it works. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know if it's an issue of jurisdiction or an issue of, I don't know. So I've decided to invite a lawyer to help us with the conversation. But mainly the focus would be on whether Martin and others have left the PDP or not. Because if they're participating, does that mean they're still PDP members and they never left? That's the question we would attempt to answer on the show today. Once again, you're welcome. And also you're welcome, Leaving Jamala, a lawyer and a social political commentator. It's good to have you one more time.
Thank you, Kalada. Thank you, Rivers people and beyond, for having me this afternoon.
Sometime last week, you sent me a WhatsApp message while I was on air saying, I think you were trying to contribute as it relates to the PDP Congress and the various court orders from courts of same jurisdiction, equal. I mean, they are mates. I wonder why they're trying to, shout over the other. Well, what are your thoughts as it relates to that as a lawyer?
Yes, sadly, prior to the Congress of the World Congress of the PDP, which was held sometime Saturday last week, we had the first order coming from the River State High Court prohibiting or stopping the Congress pending the hearing of the motion on notice. Now, after that order, we had another one from the Federal High Court in Abuja, who somehow sat like an appeal on that order of River State. Remember, they are court of coordinate jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Then about, I think, a day to that of Saturday, we have another order in River State retreating, or let me use the word, asking that parties, the PDP shouldn't go ahead with that Congress pending the hearings again of the motion on notice. Remember, the parties in the various suits are different.
The parties are different.
The parties are different.
Okay, so
they are not the same parties as the one. One was instituted by some members of the PDP against the National Working Committee and other security agencies. The other also was instituted by members of the PDP in River State from the various wards of the 23 local government duly represented. That is the one that came on Friday. Okay. And now, with the PDP in its own wisdom, River State particular, went ahead with the congresses on Saturday. I'm made to understand they also held that of the local government today, despite.
Oh, really? We've not seen the news. So they may. You're saying they may have held that for the local government today.
That's
interesting.
So despite the order of court, whether the interesting thing about it is that it reminds me the era of APC sometimes in 2018, 2019, when Honorable Justice Nwogu gave an order stopping, putting on hold the congresses of APC. And the APC then went ahead with the congresses, and that led to the APC not having gubernatorial, in fact, having
any candidate. But
yes,
can we argue now, because we love to argue on the show, right? Can we argue that because I was thinking maybe it's a matter of jurisdiction or something, but can we then argue that since there are cases instituted by totally different parties, the only common figure or entity is the PDP, right?
The defendants.
All right, that's what I'm saying. The PDP,
the PDP and security agents.
And security agencies. Okay.
And INEC.
So now the question then is, could they hold on to the one that gives them the right? Because I remember on Monday I played the sound clip of the Commissioner of Police saying that yes, there are 2 court cases saying we can, but there is the one that says I can, so I'm going to provide security.
The unfortunate thing about that statement coming from the Commissioner of Police in Rivers State, that court orders are not orders that you cherry pick to say yes, one prevented me from going ahead, the other one gave me the permission to go ahead. The one preventing you from going ahead hadn't been set aside. And so until that particular order is set aside by a superior court of record, it remains valid.
But yet again, understand, the police is in a fix, right? They have 3 orders.
2 for and 1 against.
My point is, how you've just said it's not cherry picking.
Yes,
so how are they supposed to go about it?
Because
if you say go with 2, they have cherry picked. If you say go with 1, they have cherry picked.
It's not about if you go with 2, you have not cherry picked in the circumstance.
Oh, really?
But for whichever one you decide to do, the police ordinarily, being an unbiased agency of government, is to maintain the status quo.
Now, you are blaming the police, but INEC was also reported to have been very much present, because in the article I will read later, you would see that INEC was an observer, the web, would I call them participants of the congresses? So, what do you make of that?
The Electoral Act gave INEC the powers to supervise congresses of political parties. Then when an order of court, if that order of court is duly served on the institution of government, herein we are talking about the INEC and the police, and they decide for whatever reason to cherry pick on what order of court to be, the consequences of that, their actions, will come thereafter. So if the court, remember we have so many, and Rivers State has always been the setting point of some of these legal issues. When the court will certainly sit to hear the suit on merit. And if the court will sit to hear that, and knowing well that an order of court was given, and this same set of persons refuse or disobey the court of law, the order of court willfully, then the consequences will come thereafter.
All right.
So we cannot, for now, whether the police supervise or provided the necessary security, INEC supervise as contemplated by the Electoral Act, is of no moment.
Okay. Now, I'll pause you. Now, we'll let the courts do what they do best, come up with judgments and come up with resolutions to crisis like this. Like you said, usually Rivers State is a starting point or a setting point.
Always been setting the pace.
Okay, interesting. But however, let's now, how do I say? Let's say they have done the congresses now, right? And they have ward leaders, and now you're also now informing me they may have done local government congresses, and so they have local government leaders or executives. The question then is, Martin Amaewhule reported to have participated. Is this a solid argument to say I never defected? I mean, if I'm still a PDP member, if I'm still participating in PDP congresses, if I'm still very much recognized by the PDP, aren't I a PDP member?
See, we must have to separate the person, the status of Amaewhule, then being the Rivers State House of Assembly Speaker, and that of an ordinary person who decide to jump the ship from one today, then tomorrow decide to return back to that same platform. Now, the consequence of that, their action, being members of the House, is to the fact that upon their defection, if you are to read section 109, automatically makes them not to be recognized as members of the House.
Okay.
But if they have decided through the back door to return to that political party, it has not restored their status as members of the House.
You lawyers, I mean, the legal profession, judges, lawyers, all of you, say the court is not a sentimental place. It's a place of facts and proof.
Yes.
Is this not evident enough? Does this not trump any other evidence out there? Just asking.
It doesn't. Well, if we are to reason with how the law operates, upon that declaration at plenary, that defection, that is what the court will interpret, whether as at the date of that announcement, they ceases or they still remain the members of the House.
Okay.
Not the actions taken thereafter.
I do have a commercial, but when we come back, we'll continue from here. We'll look at the evidence. We'll put it side by side. Video declarations and social media declarations. Are there enough proof and evidence as against the membership card or the recognition of them as members, or recognition of them as members by the party? Because if the PDP comes out to say that these are our members and they never defected, does that not in any way affect how the case is represented in court? I don't know. I'll speak to the lawyer. You would listen to him. Just stay tuned as we go for a quick commercial. All right, it's the bottom of the hour. You're listening to Hard Facts and 92.3 Nigerian Info. I am Kaladaka Rubatwa. With me in the studio is Living Jamala, lawyer and a socio-political commentator. Good afternoon to you once again.
Good afternoon, Kalada.
All right, this is Hard Facts once more. We're live on Facebook, Nigerian for PH. We're live on YouTube, Nigerian for PH. And we're active on X, Nigerian for PH. We're looking at one situation, one story that we have relegated for a while now, because what we have been talking about, majority of platforms have been talking about it, has been the protest which starts tomorrow. But let's take a break from talking protests and look at the situation at the River State House of Assembly. Remember, we've got factions and we have taken it to court and asked the court to tell us what the real deal is. However, some new developments may just have occurred as we seen reports from the Nation newspaper published 2 days ago, or 3 days ago, I beg your pardon, that Martin and others have participated in the PDP congresses in Rivers State. My guest, who's a lawyer once again, is saying it really doesn't matter, but really does it not matter? That's the question I want to find out. Living Jamala, Barrister Living Jamala, just before the break, I was asking the question about evidence, because that's what the court is all about. It's all about what evidence you have to show. Not sentiments, not morality, not what should be, but what is the evidence. And I asked the question, given what we've seen in court today, where, according to Channels TV's website, the judge, Justice Obile, or is it a judge now, has come out to say that the state's PDP can take up the services of a lawyer to represent the PDP in a case in the state. And if that is the case, we've seen the body language of the state PDP led by Aaron Chukwuemeka, which may just be in favor. Now, I'm not certain. I'm just making insinuations and postulations, which may be in favor of the Martin-led assembly. If that be the case, and they come out to say in court that Martin and others, I like to call them the 27, are still members of the PDP, that whatever you heard on radio, TV, or published in the newspaper, or even if there was a sworn affidavits in court, all of that were just a political strategy, or a political whatever they call it, just to make the politics interesting in River State. I know you know what I'm talking about, and you're smiling and laughing. Let's get your thoughts.
Kalada, I think my Lord Justice Obile, sitting in Port Harcourt Judicial Division Court 2, gave a ruling to the fact that the state legal advisor has a right to secure the services of a legal practitioner to represent the state chapter of the
PDP. Yeah.
Regrettably, I
disagree.
With all due sense of responsibility.
Interesting.
I want to disagree with my Lord. It is my opinion, though. It also started from Rivers State. Sometimes, sometimes in 2018, when the Rivers APC, through one Chimikwe acting as the legal advisor of Rivers State, secured the services of the celebrated case of Ibrahim Umar against the APC and others, where the Rivers State legal advisor of the APC secured the services of a legal practitioner to somewhat agree with the positions of the claimant in Rivers State High Court. Then the challenge as to who represent or who can. Remember, in registering a political party, there is only one political party registered with its national office situated in the FCT. Other states, the state has what they call the chapters. Now, that decision, that ruling by my Lord, the Honorable Justice Wogu of Rivers State High Court, got to the Court of Appeal. And the Court of Appeal disagreed with the ruling that it is only the national legal advisor that has a responsibility. If you look at the letter or the written by the River State legal advisor of the PDP, my senior Barrister Chukwu, is to the fact the authority he cited was the Federal High Court. But there are decisions of the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court. And if you look at the doctrine of stare decisis, what the Federal High Court holds is only a persuasive argument to that of the argument before my Lord Honorable Justice Obile. well, we have superior argument, superior decisions that ought to make the court below being bound by the decisions. The court have ruled in favor that the state legal advisor has superior powers over that of the national, is what I will wait the Court of Appeal to. Peradventure, the national will have to appeal against it.
Okay.
That being said, it is not true that whatever plays out today will take precedence of what has happened before.
No, I'm just saying, if the PDP says Kalada is a member of the party, and I agree and I admit, does it not trump any other evidence out there?
That's what I'm saying. It is not what counts. That today the PDP is dancing that this person is never defected. Remember, in one of our outing, I told you there's a difference between the proof of a political party member with respect to Section 109, which is different from a member of the Rivers State of the Assembly, elected political officer. Now, the conclusive proof of a membership of a political party is a register of that political party. But it's different to the fact that once you are elected as a representative, be it State House of Assembly, to the fact that on national, once Section 109 sub 1G is called to play, the plenary, whatever transpired at plenary, is conclusive evidence. And you have said in the almighty celebrated case of that my Lord Justice Omotosho gave in Abuja, these persons have made depositions on oath to the fact that they jumped to the next ship in exercise of their right.
No, they are arguing.
Okay,
go ahead.
In order to somehow evidence or codify that their decision, they said there was a division in the party, and so they were protected by the exceptions as provided for under Section 109 sub 2.
Okay.
So if you look at that, whatever that is playing out is inconsequential. The material question to ask is, as at when the suit was filed, was there a defection?
Okay, now can I ask you a question? I wanted to stop you, but you asked me to let you continue. Now, defection, in my understanding, is moving from one party
to the other,
to another.
Yes.
But can we say a defection is taking place if one person does not move? I mean, it moves from, how do I put it now? It claims to leave a party for the sake of being neutral, so I'm going to use it like this. It claims to have left the party or to leave a party, but it doesn't move anywhere. Because like you've said, it's written in the Constitution that the only way you can be a member of a party is if you are recognized at the ward level. And isn't it the job of the state or the ward to claim that this person is my member? That's the ward chapter of a party, to claim that this person is my member and not the national.
That's what I was trying to say. For a person elected, the procedure for defection is different from about the circumstances that have defected. But members of the assembly, members of the National Assembly, once I give that or exercise of my powers or exercise of my will by way of announcement at plenary, and that announcement is made, it's final proof of my no letter to whatsoever that he has withdrawn his membership from that political party. It's different from the member of the House who has made that announcement at plenary.
So can a member of the House withdraw his membership of his political party without joining another political party?
A member of the House can withdraw his membership of a political party. But because we do not run an independent candidature, you must belong to a political party.
But the constitution of defected.
The proof of defection is the announcement. The proof of defection is the announcement made at plenary. The record of proceedings is there.
But record, do you have the document? Because they are saying
there are certified true copies of record of proceedings to which